Pre-season cleanup. Just finished that season 5. Gutting out all that fertigation manager stuff. We're gonna run them earth boxes this season. Here's just one more reason why these botanicare trays are worth the money. Yes, it sucks. You're gonna pay like 150 bucks. Try to find your local store. My local store, it was more expensive to buy the tray, but after shipping I saved like 40 bucks. Because you're gonna find these trays, 60 to 100 bucks, whatever, but some places are gonna ask 75 bucks to ship you one of these. They're huge, they take up a lot of space on the truck. Find a local spot, they're gonna buy it in a 10 pack, they're gonna divide that shipping across all 10. It's not the weight that costs the shipping, it's how big it is. So remember, you want outer diameter if you're running inside of a tent, because if you do a 4x4 internal diameter of usable space, the tray is actually going to be about 3 to 4 inches too big for your tent. So internal diameter, but look at the cleanup. This is my point of why they're worth it. Look how nasty that is. That would be the bottom of your tent. That would be underneath the tray liner of your tent. A lot of people don't pull those out. So all I do now is sweep it up, pour a bucket of bleach water. I have a video on this doing it also. I dump a couple gallons of water in here with some bleach, scrub it up with a broom, vacuum it out, good to go for another season. About 1.5 gallons bleach water, scrub that around, suck it out, flush it a few times with clean water just to get the residuals out. That's all you gotta do. So we're doing the strip down from the season 5. We're starting season 6. We're doing a little cleanup of the GrowTech system. We're only going to use one of these. We're not going to use the full fertigation manager. You can see in my season 4 and 5 how this thing adjusts how much water it needs by how much runoff it gets. We're just going to be doing it as the basic system. We're going to be fertigating one pot. We're going to be using the second pump to suck off the runoff. We're not going to be using the full manager to where it's going to auto adjust that adaptive watering system. So you see I got cleaning up everything. I do have the black lines. I'm getting rid of all those. So basically what we're doing now, I'm going to be flushing out the pump 1 and 2 just to clear the lines. I do have the black lines, I just don't have them yet. Don't put electricity near your water unless you run the GFI outlets or the GFI breaker. I'm not an electrician, pay somebody to do your stuff, don't take my advice. Anyway, I'm just flushing these out. I do have the black lines. As you can see, the clear tubing does get dulled up. So basically I just have some bleach water in here. I have the 2 suction lines. I have the 2 suction lines with the little bleed off valve. That's so we don't have a siphon effect. I have the suction lines in the bleach water. Then the return lines. Oh fuck. And now that I'm looking at, I have this backwards. These are what feeds the pot. This is what sucks out of the water. So I'm going to flop these around because I don't want to cut this length, because this is actually what makes it to station 1 and station 2 in my pump. So I'm just going to pop these off and flip them around. I'll be right back. But I'm going to have some issues. You do want this siphon valve on the downstream, what you actually give to your plants, not on the suction, because if you'll see when I put this up, it's going to be sucking air in through here as well as water. You're not going to have a good flow. But just for this clean out, it's going to be okay. Okay, as you can see, I flop these around. Again, it is going to be sucking air, so there is going to be a lot of bubbles coming in my return line, typically. But when you're actually giving these to your plants, you do want the siphon on the feed line, not the actual suction line. So here I'm doing a little screen record. I got my camera up so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Now, app looks a little funny in here. I have full videos on this, of how you run the scales, the drain off pumps, all that. We're just going into the dashboard. We're going to set this a high number. On station 1 and 2, again, we are just doing the flush outs. 1 and 2 set at 2500. We're going to turn off station 3 and 4. And we're going to turn off adaptive watering because we are not having it control. So we have 3 minutes until the big cycle goes off. So all I'm going to do right here is go into pump calibration. And we can actually cycle pump 1 and 2. As you can see, I basically have to prime it myself by holding the valves. You can see that it's pushing water out right now. This is why you want it on the downstream, not the suction stream. Once I let go, it's going to suck air. So I'm just going to cycle these a few times. You can use EM5, any type of enzyme or hydroponic cleaner. I'm actually just running bleach through here right now. Then I'll flush it out afterwards for a few cycles. Well, apparently I lost the whole screenshot record video of me talking about why you need these one-way valves, and it's basically to break the siphon effect. The reason it's not working here is you're sucking water through it, which is letting the valve open, sucking air. When you're pushing water through it, it's pushing against the valve, it won't let it open. But once you finish your fertigation with any type of water pump, once you finish that watering, when the siphon effect, if your reservoir water level is higher than the pot you're giving it to, it's going to siphon it and keep pushing it through. Once it does that, it acts as a suction on the feed line, and instead of pulling all the way through the pump and into your reservoir, it's just going to pull air from that valve and it's going to suck air. Once the air bubbles in there, it breaks the pressure levels. You have no siphon effect. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the rest of season 6, the Earth Box Challenges.